Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis with another announcement video for my YouTube channel. A warm welcome if you're just joining me. This is a live recording, obviously. Today is Sunday, the 22nd of October. Yes, we've come to the end of the weekend and we're starting a new week. Right, before I start, I'm going to try and make this video shorter. My last announcement video was done at 12 minutes 56 seconds, so I'm hoping to go under that. So I'll move quickly on this video. I guarantee you I will not be making a follow-up video, I promise. So this video will be going very fast. Right, okay, also before I start, thank you for the subscriber that joined this YouTube channel. I appreciate that very much. I don't know who you are. If you leave me a comment, then I can give you a shout out, all right? But thank you very much for subscribing to this channel. Right, moving on. Right, here I do announcements on Group of the Day. This is what I select. I'll get a few people out there to choose, tell me which ones are doing well, which ones, you know, haven't got many members in, not always big numbers. So I'll give them a sort of bit of coverage, and so people know about that group and they join it. So it does help to announce it. And then it goes on Facebook and Twitter and all that. So it goes on elsewhere on social media. Right, okay then, but I'll tell you this. The video is for announcements on Group of the Day, Contribute of the Day for Saturday the 21st of October. I also got birthday announcements, some Dot2 news, if you can call it that, updates, my DVD collection selection, which will feature horror, and also my Doctor Who quiz question and the answer from yesterday's quiz question and a new one, and also your comments, which are more important than anything else on what I do here, and mainly because they are more important, it gives me feedback. And also, to finish off, coming up. Right, okay then, let's get on with it. Right, firstly, Group of the Day for Saturday the 21st of October goes to, this is quite a long one, it could have been done in a paragraph, this title. Here we go, bear with me. Frilly shirts and velvet smoking jackets, the Jon Pertwee is the Third Doctor. I chose it because of that, actually. What a title. Anyway, they are my Group of the Day. Contribute of the Day for Saturday the 21st of October goes to Rancor Trek. Well done to him, well done to them. They'll be going up on my Facebook, my Twitter, also Instagram, and of course my story later on today. Right, moving on. Birthday announcements. Here we go. Birthday announcements for today, for Sunday the 22nd of October, goes to Kat Cardy, Daniel sorry, I'll say that again. Daniel Maradi Loss. Daniel Maradi Loss. Next one, Joey Moore, David Richards, and Bob Grutus. I think that is. It's a silent J in it somewhere. So anyway, those people celebrating their birthdays, well done to them. It's a special day. Wish them well. Right, moving on. Dot2 news. Right, former writer Phil Ford, who wrote Waters of Mars, has done an interview with Radio Times saying that Doctor Who, there's no limit to Doctor Who being darker and more scarier. Which is true, really, because what's scaring the kids is what Doctor Who's about. Because I remember Philip Hinchcliffe doing something like that as a showrunner, and he says, we want to scare the little buggers. That's what he said. And because he had Bob Holmes, Bob Holmes was really dark when he wrote. He used to do stuff like eyes falling out of people's sockets and stuff like that. And Philip Hinchcliffe said, no, you can't do that. Because at the time he had Mary Whitehouse on his back, you know, with the Deadly Assassin episode. That's the one where Tom Baker goes under the water with this with Gough, President Gough or whatever was the assassin, obviously, and he kept him under the water, but it wasn't real, you know. But she says all kids need to be warned about this, and I'm thinking, if she says that, she gives a seal of approval. I remember the Goodies once, you know, the trio, Bill Oddie, Tim Brooke Taylor and Graham Garden. They were popular as a comedy trio in the 70s. They were zany, they were loony, they did half-hour sketches, well, no, series, it was funny, but Mary Whitehouse said it was violent and stuff like that, and she gave it a thumbs down. And then they did an episode that wasn't, and then she gave it a thumbs up, and they said, "Oh shit, sorry about that," but that's what they said. So they knew that their program would nosedive after she gave it a C, so they went out their way to make sure it was horrible, and they went back to the normal ways. So anyway, yes, it is what really Doctor Who is about: making kids scared, go behind the sofas. That's what it's about. I remember when I watched it, I was always behind the sofa if there was one to sit on, because HP, it went back. But anyway, I had to hide behind the curtains. But anyway, yeah, it was. I'll tell you the one that scared me the most. It was the one with the chair where it swallowed this guy up. I think it was in Terror of the Autumns. That really spooked me. I had sleepless nights. I think it was about 6 or 7 at the time. But yeah, that was really, that's what Doctor Who's really about in it. Anyway, that's what Phil Ford went on record saying to Radio Times recently. It wasn't just something he said months ago. He made an interview because he, as I said, he wrote Waters of Mars, so he knows about how to get the best out of an episode and really frighten people, because it was quite a scary episode. I must admit, the ending wasn't too scary, was it? It was sort of, I wish he'd sort of done a little bit more to fill those gaps in at the end. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But it was quite good, but I felt that it could have gone somewhere else a little bit more. But anyway, don't worry about that. That's what he says. That's all that I've got to tell you on Doctor Who News, because as I said, the BBC are keeping it close to the chest. They're not giving anything away, so nobody out there who says they've got something hasn't got anything to tell you. They're just making it up, all right? Or they're just going on Twitter or whatever, what somebody else says. But anyway, I haven't got anything to tell you apart from that. So moving on. Updates. Here we go. This is to do my page, the Lee Anthony Davis, the Sarah Jane Adventures page, which is on Facebook. I've got now 42 followers, so thank you for them. I've also got a group on there. I've got quite a few groups actually, but this is the main one. The Lee Anthony Davis, the Sarah Jane Adventures group has now reached 34 members. So thank you to them. And on my Instagram account hasn't moved. Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? It goes up and down. It fluctuates very quickly. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. But anyway, there's no point in telling you about that. Moving on to my Hammer. Well, it was Hammer Horror, but it's just going to be the Horror DVD Collection Selection. This is where I'll show you my DVDs over the years I bought, because obviously I'm a horror fan. This is one of my favourites. It's part of a two-part film. Dr. Phibes, remember him? Vincent Price plays this disgruntled surgeon who was killed, disfigured in a car accident because his wife was on the operating. He tried to rush back and he went over a cliff. Basically, he was disfigured so badly he looked horrifying. So he created this makeup and these masks and stuff, so he looks sort of he could pass off as a sort of acceptable face. And what he does was he sets up these traps for these people. He blames for his wife's death on the operating theatre, and he does some really gruesome things like rats used, bats are used. The worst one I thought was funny was the one where this guy was enticed by this beautiful woman, but Dr. Phibes was his assistant. She enticed him onto this chair. The chair locked. He couldn't get out. And there's this little bowl, and he tried to pick it up because they thought the key was in there, so he could get out. But no, what he got was a load of scorpions, and all you did was Phibes was playing his piano or his harmonica or organ or whatever it was, and he's playing it loud, and you could hear the screams in the background. When you saw it the next day, you saw all blood all over him and everything. This was a great film. This is a film to watch if you want to put away your enemies. Get some advice from this. Brilliant stuff. This is Dr. Phibes Rises again. He does the same thing, but it's quite good. It's good cast in this. Peter Cushing, he's in this. Terry Thomas, you remember him from Comedy. So it's a real classic cast in this. But it's done in the same feel, you know. This one's about immortality. It's a race for time between this guy here, who steals Phibes' secret and tries to beat him to the post because he wants to go to the gates where, I know it gets convoluted too much, but in the end, he gets old because he's been taking this elixir stuff. that keeps him young. Well, it's all confusing, but it's all good fun, isn't it? And he needs to go through them gates to stay young. But 5 bits into it. Right, anyway, Theatre of Death, one of classic Vincent Price's classic, this one. This is where he's ridiculed as an actor and takes revenge on all those critics. Wouldn't we love to do that? Right, this is a real classic. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, featuring Peter Cushing as the devil, disguised as Dr. Shrek. He tells their fortunes, but what he was telling, that they're all going to die. This was another classic one. This is what happens when you mess around with Mother Nature. This creature is created and it starts sucking the blood out of people and bone marrow. Very nice. This one, I don't need to tell you, this is American Werewolf in London. This is a fantastic film. And then we got this one, John Carpenter's The Thing. What a thing. Marvellous stuff. And then this last one I'm going to show you is basically a classic whodunit. Who is the werewolf? It's a bit like, what was it? 10 Little Indians, if you've ever seen that film. It's about one of them's a murderer and each one dies. One of them pretends to die, but he's the murderer. And eventually the last two, and one of them is the murderer. So who is it? This is what it's like. This is who is the werewolf, you know. Anyway, that's the end of my horror DVD collection selection. I'm going to move on to something else. I'm going to move on to Universal tomorrow. Right, moving on to something else. It's Doctor Who quiz time. Right, yesterday I asked a question on the final ever episode of Doctor Who Classics, which was screened in 1989. I wanted to know what was the last air day of the final episode of Survival, and the answer was Wednesday the 6th of December 1989. That was the last one. That's it. I'm not going to go on elaborate on that anymore. Right, moving on to another one. This is a new question. Which adventure never got broadcast on BBC One? In other words, it was made, but didn't finish it, so therefore they couldn't air it. Right, okay, you got that one. Right, now for your comments, most important. I've got some comments here, so I'll read them out quickly. This one's about Lost in Space. I feel empty without Smith, but I'm sure he will make up for it in many others that he will be in. This was about the... I've got another comment about that. This is about Smith not being in the cliffhanger. He's usually good in it. But don't worry, your comments will be noted. He will be back, I'm sure you. Anyway, here's another one. This one's important. I'll just read this one out quickly. I believe the BBC in them days didn't regard science fiction very high on the schedules as drama, as variety shows, and so looking back on all those variety shows, including the Forsyth Saga and Morecambe Wise, and now we defunct, but Doctor Who is still going strong, and how true that is. Moving on, I think I've got enough time to say goodbye. Coming up, Sarah Jane, Lost in Space, and PlayStation trailer. Right, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.